Blog Talk Radio.
Have you ever gotten to a place in life where you find yourself asking, what now? That's right, what now? Circumstances and situations have happened. You feel as if you've been hit from the left and the right. You feel as if nothing that you do ends up working out the way that you desire for it to work out, and you just don't know what you need to do right now. The reality is we've all been there, and sometimes we've been there without the tools, techniques, and strategies to help us make effective decisions to produce the future that we desire. You don't have to do this alone anymore. I invite you to listen to my podcast. That's right, my name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I'm a purpose strategist, author, transformation coach, and spiritual leader. And I host the What Now podcast. And the What Now podcast is simply conversations that teach us how to effectively face life's most difficult moments. That's right, life's most difficult moments. So, if you're interested in hearing the podcast, I encourage you to visit my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. Again, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. There's a tab for the podcast, and you can pick your favorite platform. We're available on multiple platforms, so you can pick your favorite platform, pick the platform, subscribe to the podcast, listen, comment, and share. All right? So I encourage you again, make sure that you are listening to the What Now podcast. What's up, everybody? My name is Clifton Pettyjohn, and you are listening to Transformation Radio, where we transform lives through purposeful conversations. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Transformation Radio. That's right, Transformation Radio, where we transform lives through purposeful conversations, regardless of how uncomfortable and unpopular those conversations are. My name is Clifton Pettyjohn. I'm a purpose strategist, author, transformation coach, and spiritual leader. I provide tools and strategies to transition you from a life of merely existing to living a life full of purpose. Yes, I'm talking to you. If you are alive and breathing, there is purpose inside of you. So I want to ask you a question today. I want to ask you this question real quick before we get to our guest. What if you were to free yourself enough to allow yourself to experience a life of purpose? Like, will you forget about everything else, every excuse that you may make or have made? Listen, I know I was the king of excuses at one point. But what if you would eliminate all of those excuses, eliminate the thoughts and feelings of others, and even eliminate the thoughts and feelings of yourself sometimes when, we're going through some things, and just allow yourself to be as great as you were designed to be? What if? I encourage you this week to give it a try. Give it a try this week. Forget about, as I said, the excuses. Forget about the limitations and just begin to be who you were created to be. And if you need help understanding who you were created to be, listen, I have a guest tonight. We're going to get to him, all right? We're going to get to him, and I believe that you're going to experience some clarity even in our conversation all tonight. So, listen, the lines will be open the entire show. You already know how we do it. Lines are open the entire show. We encourage you to call in and join the conversation. Now, I do have to say this. This is probably the part I don't like to say, but I have to say it. Now, you guys know it if you listen for a while. Our guest and myself, we all come from diverse backgrounds, including yourself, which means we have different belief systems, different understandings, as well as different journeys. However, it's okay that we may not agree with each other. We're not going to agree with everything that we say, but we must do so in a respectful manner. I want you to keep that in mind when you call in, okay? We want to make sure that we are respectful even if we disagree. And as I always say on here, if we can listen from a place of openness and willing to understand, then what could we learn and how could we grow and become more effective citizens and create a world, not just for the generation that is to come, but for this generation that's here now. Y'all, the world is crying out, and the world needs answers. The world needs something different. Are we willing to be the answer? Are we willing to be that difference? All right, so listen, I want you to call in 516-387-1756. Again, 516-387-1756. All right, so listen, we're going to get right to our guests on tonight. We're not going to waste any other time. We're not going to waste any more time. I've already done enough talking. Listen, I want each and every one of you to help me welcome to the show. This man is a speaker. He's an author, a coach, and an engineer. Y'all, I'm telling you, engineer. I think this is the first time we had an engineer on the show. So I want you to welcome Mr. Positive Vibes, Mr. Tyrone Jacobs Jr. to the show. Tyrone, how are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful, Mr. Pettyjohn. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I'm excited to have you on the show.
What was that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just a lot going on right now in the world and especially in America as far as, the pandemic and, these protests going on and, the looting, and it's just so many different things going on, but it's important to keep your head held high, and you have to kind of keep going and keep pressing towards what your dreams and your goals are. So it's just important to do that.
Cool. Now, we're going to start the conversation with you a little differently because usually I start with an icebreaker question, then we go into a game of word association. But I was listening to your speaker spotlight the other day on the Black Speaker Network, and you were talking about adversity, and you were talking about how you've even faced adversity from birth. Can you talk about some of the adversities that you faced and what you have done in the midst of adversity to be able to overcome it? Because right now, as you said, we're in the pandemic. We have the protesting, the rioting, the looting going on. This is adversity for many of us. So what are some things that we could, take and apply to what's going on in order to overcome these times right now?
Yeah, so, great question. As I said in the video, I was born premature, like 2 months premature. So even at that time, I was fighting to breathe, fighting to survive, fighting for my life. And at that time, I didn't even know I was doing that, but that's what I was doing. And I always reference that point because I think just from then on, that's all I pretty much knew how to do. I didn't know that later on in life I would experience a lot of things that I did, but, there's a quote that I like, and it's called "Revert back to your training," and that means that we have already been through a lot of things. We have already seen adversity. We have already seen, like most of us have already seen something of struggle, of hardship, of adversity, of challenge, something that was an obstacle that we had to get over. So when something new appears, it's like your brain should kind of have this like muscle memory thing going on where it's like, okay, like your brain should tell you like, hey, you've been here before. Like the adversity itself may look different. It may look in a different form, it may appear to you in a different form, but you have overcome before. So why would it be any different now? You know what I mean? So I kind of always tried to keep that mindset when I decided to kind of change my life around. And, I mean, it's worked ever since. And, you know, I think people just have to understand that life is just – some things in life are just inevitable. You know, they're out of our control. Life is not just some pretty staircase. It's not something that's going to just be spick and span smooth. It's not going to be flowers and unicorns all the time. It's not going to be sunshine every day, right? Like, once you get that in your head and you know that life will just it's going to throw you curveballs at some point, then I think mentally and emotionally, I think that you will be a bit better equipped to just navigate life, and you will be better equipped to kind of get to your dreams and your goals. Because I think the problem is a lot of people think that things are just going to be just easy, or they may think that, or they may be on the other side. They may think that, like, man, like, is the world picking on me? Like, am I being singled out? Like, you know, I have to compare myself to other people. You know, they have what I don't, and, you know, and I've been there too. So I've been on both sides of the fence. But once I changed my mindset to just knowing that life won't be easy, but it'll be worth it, that was the game changer. And that was the thing that really took me to the next level mentally, as far as just getting through adversity and hardships. And I keep that mindset to this day.
Cool. Now, you just talked about something. You talked about the importance of changing your mindset. How did you come to that space to understand, number one, you needed to change your mindset, and then how did you actually change your mindset?
Yeah, so that's a great question also. I think for me, I think I just, because I get this question all the time. I woke up one day and I just knew from the day that I woke up that summer, because that summer I was preparing to go to school, go to college. And I was in like a really, really dark place emotionally, mentally. You know, I was battling so many different things left and right from every angle of life. And I woke up one day and I was like, you know what, I have to fix this. Like, I took control. In other words, I took control of my life. I didn't let life take control of me. So, like, once you get to that point of, like, knowing that you have to take life by the horns, then that'll be a game changer for you as well. So that's what helped me shift my mindset from being a victim and just from feeling like the world is passing me by, and from feeling like I won't ever be this, I won't ever become that, I won't ever be this, to just knowing that, okay, my circumstances are the way that they are now, but they won't be this way forever if I change my mindset. Because I think that success and greatness is all about your mentality. I don't think it's really about necessarily per se your physical or just things like that. I think it's really all about like your heart, your courage, your perseverance, your determination, your work ethic, your integrity, honor, things like that. And like that's what will get you to the big leagues, I think. And that was a game changer for me. I had to adjust my mindset, because if I didn't adjust my mindset, honestly, that was when I was 18. I'm 26 now. I really don't know if I'd be where I'm at if I didn't make those mental tweaks. And I think that's what people have to do. It's all mindset. It's all mental. I think once you're able to adjust your mindset to understand that, number one, life will pretty much always have some form of adversity, and number two, that you can get yourself through that adversity if you keep your eyes on your goals and your dreams, and you don't let anything stop you from what those are. So those are like the two game changers for me at that point.
Okay. Now, I read in your bio, too, something that I really, it just stuck out to me. You talked about going all in. Going all in, okay. How important is it to go all in when you set goals, when you have dreams, when you have aspirations, desires? How important is it to have that mindset of going all in?
It's extremely important. And there's no way that I would be where I'm at if I didn't go all in, or at least try to. I'm not saying that I I try my best to give my best effort every day. And I don't care if it's a Friday, a Saturday, a weekend, a holiday, like whatever. Like, I don't let a day pass by and I just don't do something towards the betterment of myself. Whether it's reading a new book, it's learning new vocabulary, I am figuring out different things for my brand, I'm figuring out different things for my career progression as an engineer in the in the aerospace industry. Just whatever I'm doing in my life, like, I don't let a day pass by where I just kind of sit there and just don't do anything. And I try to use my hours wisely and my minutes wisely. And I think I talk about the importance of going all in so much because that is what worked for me. I gave up a lot. Like, I had to sacrifice a lot to get where I'm at. You don't get to anywhere grander or special. Just, you have to put in that work. You have to get it in. You have to give up things that most people won't to get what other people won't get. So when you put yourself in a different space, you're going to see different things. That doesn't mean that other people won't be successful and they won't, everyone will be successful in their own right to whatever their own standards are. And everybody looks at success differently. My definition of success is not everybody else's definition of it. So I think for me, by giving all of my energy to my goals and my dreams and not letting negative, outside negative noise and people and influences get into me, get into my brain, I was able to really give all of my energy and all my soul and just, my passion to my goals and my dreams. And so far, so good. It's been working out for me really well.
Okay. Now, how did you gain confidence in yourself and your gifts, talents, and abilities? Confidence,
and that's a very huge part of it as well. You have to be confident in yourself. And don't get me wrong, I don't say that as in, like, I'm just, like, untouchable. Like, I don't get nervous or I don't get discouraged. I definitely still feel those emotions and those feelings. And I still feel those feelings to this day on my journey. But I've become way more confident because, again, the quote I just shared, it's reverting back to your training. And that's something that I heard from a prolific speaker, Inky Johnson. He says, revert back to your training. And what he means by that is you've already been here before. You've already seen this. You've already done this. So this is nothing new. This is just a new form of it. It's a new way to look at things, but it's not nothing new. So you can get through this just like you got through the last thing. And the whole thing about it is just your level of endurance. Can you endure enough to see your dreams and your goals become true? It's really, when you really think about it on a bigger picture, it really boils down to your endurance and your stamina. And I don't mean as far as, like, running track or you're running sprints. I mean in terms of enduring life's challenges and obstacles. Can you endure them long enough to see your dreams come true? And that's what it really boils down to at the end of the day. And the problem is, I think that a lot of people, they endure, but then they just either quit or they don't want to endure anymore. And there's no way you're going to have a big dream or a big goal and not endure something or endure many things. You have to build your armor. You have to build your level of resolve to endure those blows and those punches that life gives us all. And once you're able to do that, I mean, you will shoot off like a rocket.
Absolutely. And you begin to realize, you are stronger than you realize in the midst of all of it. You are greater than you even give yourself credit for being. That was good right there. That was good. Okay. Now, I'm going to hit you with, the little icebreaker question. If you could have one superpower, what would that superpower be and why?
A superpower. And what would that be? I think I don't know, for some reason I've always liked the superpower of just being invisible. Or or just having the ability to just switch it on and off. You know, I've always liked the invisibility type of thing, and I think for me it's just because I just kind of grew up watching like certain cartoons and certain shows, and it was just something about being invisible that's just really cool to me, as far as like people not seeing you but you see them, or people not knowing where you are but you know where they are. And like and it's not even really saying that for bad reasons, but it's for good reasons. Like you could save people from a robbery or from danger, and you can see what's going on but they can't. You know, so I think it's just things like that, and that's what makes me enjoy the invisibility superpower. So I think I would say be invisible would be mine.
Okay. So now we're going to play a quick game of word association. I have 4 words, okay? I'm going to say the word, and I want you to tell me either the first word that comes to mind or the first statement that comes to mind. Now, sometimes we never finish this game because it leads further into the conversation. So we may get stuck on one of the words and just go however we go.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So the first word is life. Life.
Life?
Yes, sir.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Now, have you always had that mindset as it related to life? Or is that something that developed with your, once you embrace that new mindset?
That was definitely developed once I created the new mindset for myself, because I had my old mindset until I was, basically 19, going on 20 years old. I'm 26 now. So for majority of my life, I've had the mindset of like not believing in myself, not being confident, not thinking that I would accomplish my goals and dreams and this and that. And then once I kind of changed it and clicked over and clicked some gears around and moved some stuff around in my head, I was able to gain more clarity, and that allowed me to create my vision for myself. And I think we all need vision, and that's what makes I think my life just amazing. Is I created a vision for myself, and ever since that point, I have done things to get me closer to seeing that vision come to fruition. So that's why I say life is amazing. Like, even though we have a pandemic and we have, the nationwide activism and protesting and everything, which is great. We need that. We need that to keep going, for sure. I don't want that to stop because we're seeing changes happening in the country right now. But
absolutely.
I say that to say, life is amazing just because I can wake up every day and go after my dream, and I can work every day to get closer to something that's bigger than myself. That's why I say life is amazing.
Cool. Now, the next word you actually started talking about is vision.
Oh, yeah, vision. Important. I mean, it's important. You need that to carry yourself through, because again, as I said before, you have to be able to endure, and you have to have a level of resolve that's just strong. If you don't have your armor, built up, or if you're not built to endure and to outlast, it's going to be tough, because there's no dreams or goals that are easy to accomplish, especially if they're things that have never been done before, or they've been attempted but it's never been accomplished. Those things, you need a certain level of resolve, and you need a vision, because the vision is going to pull you through when you don't want to be pulled through yourself.
Yes, sir. I totally agree. The next word is faith. Faith.
Also extremely important. I would never say that I would never just push that down somebody's throat or down somebody, as far as like trying to force it upon someone. But I know what my faith is, and I know what my belief system is and my value system is, and I know that has also played an extremely huge role in why I am where I am today. And even speaking with you tonight, I mean, that whole opportunity, I had no idea was coming. And so that right there just proves to me that I'm at least trying to do the right things. I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that I'm flawless, but I do know where my heart is. I do know where I want my heart to be, and I know what my intentions are. So, as long as I have those things right and I try to develop and become a better person and a better man each day, I can't really, ask for more. So faith is very important to me, and you have to believe. I mean, you have to have hope. Like, you don't have hope and you don't have that belief, it's going to be hard. Like, the journey will be very hard if you don't have that.
So true. The next word is purpose. Purpose.
Purpose. Also extremely important. All of these things are very important, actually.
Right.
Purpose, so again, all of these things tie into each other. And it's funny you say these words because they all intertwine. So without purpose, it's like, why are you doing what you like? Why do you do what you do? A lot of people, they're doing things, but it's not pointing to something. It's just like it's almost just being done to be done, or like it's kind of, I don't want to say mindless in a way, but when you have purpose, that's basically saying to yourself that, like, okay, you know why you're here, you know why you were born, you know why you were created. You were created to do something. Now, that doesn't mean that we all figure that out at the same age or the same time, but when you feel like you discover your purpose, that's the game changer of all game changers, really, because you won't you won't tolerate much really anymore, because you're going to want all of your energy and focus to go towards your purpose, because to you that would be why you're here on earth, why you're here in society, why do you do what you do every day? I mean, it's not for no reason, right? Like, it all means something. It all should point to something. So for me, my purpose is, some of the things that you mentioned, like, becoming a speaker and wanting to write books and all that type of stuff. That's what I feel my purpose is. And so since me waking up and adjusting my mindset, everything that I've done since that point has pointed to that. Like, I gave up so much to get here. And people think that success is just some 24 hours, 36 hours, you wake up and, okay, boom. Like, no. Like, it takes years to master your craft and to really get into what you're doing. And once you discover what your purpose is, Cliff, I can't tell you how powerful that is, because that will open just so many doors for you mentally, emotionally. It will free you of so many different things, because I think a lot of people walk around like zombies. And I thank God that I'm not one of those people that I'm just kind of just going with the motions. Like, I fear that so much, because I know there's a lot of people out there that struggle with that. So, purpose is everything. Purpose is definitely everything.
And that's why I have this show, because I want to invite people on from diverse backgrounds that have either the light bulbs went off concerning their purpose, so they're pursuing their purpose, or there was a shift, in their life that kind of pushed them to their purpose, so that people can see people that are like them, look like them, walk like them, talk like them, all of those things, that are doing great things in life, so they can see that it is possible for them as well. And I'm big on purpose. All of these are my trigger words for the show. That's why they, like you said, they all are gelling together, because I feel like it is so important for us to first learn how to really live life, a fulfilling life. We definitely have to have vision, and faith is, then I tell people, whatever you subscribe to, direct that faith towards something that's greater than you, however you define it or whatever. And when you find out that purpose, like you said, it's like a weight is lifted off of you, and you can move more freely, because now you know. So you don't got time for the extra stuff, because you know what it is that you should be doing.
That's it.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I get excited talking about purpose. So the last word the last word is transformation.
Transformation is key, and it also intertwines with the rest of the terms and words. Mm-hmm. And we have to constantly evolve and transform. There's no way you should really be staying the same. You should, like, even if you're going through bad things, those things should still mold you and change you for the better.
Yes.
Right. You shouldn't have a year, 2 years, 3 years passing you by, and you still feel like you're still in the same spot, like nothing has moved. And that was a game changer for me early on. I had to start moving because I was suffering from like depression and everything. I felt myself being in a state of mental paralyzation, and I just felt like I really couldn't move because I didn't have direction, I didn't have purpose, I didn't have a drive, I didn't have a reason to work hard, I didn't have any of these things. So you constantly want to transform, and you constantly want to evolve. And as you evolve and transform, number one, you're gonna learn things about yourself. You're gonna discover new strengths and even weaknesses that you may not knew that were there about yourself. But you should always focus on evolving yourself and improving and transforming yourself. Like nothing should just stay the same for quite too long. You should always want to change something about yourself.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk about your career a little bit. How did you get interested in the aerospace industry? So it's kind of intriguing. I went to a conference on behalf of the National Society of Black Engineers. It's a student-run engineering organization that was created at Purdue University over 30 years ago, and they have an annual conference every year for students and professionals alike to come out and attend career fairs and workshops and seminars and different things like that. And so 4 years ago, I went to the one that we had in Boston, Massachusetts. I saw my company right now, Boeing, at the career fair. I didn't really have plans to talk to them, but I did anyway. So I say, hey, might as well give it a shot. I went in, talked to the recruiters. The next day, they brought me on for an interview. The interview went really well, and next thing you know, I had an offer coming in for an internship that summer for 3 months in St. Louis, Missouri. Berkeley, I should say, but St. Louis. And so I spent 3 months there. I came back to school. Next summer, I received another internship from Boeing for 3 months in El Segundo, California. So I spent 3 months in California, went back to school, and then next thing you know, I get an opportunity to join the team full time. And so that's how I got into it. I didn't like proclaim it or write it down like, hey, you know what? I've always wanted to be in the aerospace industry, or since I was a kid, I just knew. I didn't have a story like that. It just happened. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. It just happened. That's just the way the cookie crumbled, or that's just the way the chips fell for me. But I don't regret it at all. I mean, the stuff I've been doing, the stuff I've been learning since I've been in the industry has been truly amazing, and I'm really, really blessed to even get in the company at the age that I did. I was, 21, 22 years old at the time. And, I've been extremely fortunate to do a lot of things I've been doing with the company since. So, yeah, that's basically my Boeing story. Cool. Now, as an engineer, how did you become interested in, being an author and speaking and all of those things? Is that something that was there prior to the engineering thing, or is that something that, came alongside with it or after it?
Yeah, so I think the best way for me to say that, I think it all started together. Now, the speaking stuff came a little bit after the engineering stuff, but I think it was close enough to where you could really say that it all basically was just a combination of them all, and they all spurred off in their own directions. And so for me, even with engineering, like I didn't come from a family of engineers. You know, I'm a first generational college student. I'm a first generational, you know, college graduate in STEM and engineering. So, thank you. And so, you know, I had that to battle and to overcome and to set standards for. And I think the speaking stuff, I just felt like I had something of value to help somebody. I didn't really think it would be thousands upon thousands of people. No, I didn't really say all that or think that. But I figured at least one person would look at me and say, you know what, I think I can make something happen because he did. Or I think, you know, I share the same background as him and he's doing this. Or I went through some of the same things that he did. And I think that I can do the same thing he's doing. So that was my goal with it at first. I just wanted to just kind of see if I could do it and if I could run with it. And ever since then, I've been hooked on it. And so, you know, I've been just adjusting my mindset in terms of just not wanting to be just a speaker or just an author or anything, but I want all of that to just lead into just me being a business person, you know. And I want my speaking and my authoring and my coaching to just be extensions of that, like extensions of my brand, extensions of my business. But I want ultimately to be a business person or a businessman, and then just have those be just my products and services of my business that I offer to the world.
Cool. Now, in your bio, I see that you have like a plethora of talents, like, and it's just you're like look pretty gifted here. You know, I mean, from playing the guitar to brand content, playing and watching basketball. Hold on for a minute, okay? Because this might end the interview right here. Who's your basketball team?
Chicago Bulls.
Okay, so now, guys, this brings us to the end of our conversation. No, I'm playing. Got you. So you're a Bulls fan? Like, you really got to be thankful to be a Bulls fan. I feel you. Okay. So you grew up definitely a Bulls fan or developed into it?
Yeah, so I mean, you could say I grew up that way because my mom, we spent some time in Chicago, especially because I was born there, and we would go back and forth to go to a lot of the Chicago Bulls games when I was younger, or even before that, before I even came out, my mom would go to games, and so she would go to Bulls games, and she spent a lot of time doing that when I was like way younger. So I think it just came from her, and then she had a lot of Chicago Bulls stuff kind of hanging up around the house, and she had like various Michael Jordan plates and just different stuff like that. So I think just from her, so she had a lot of that stuff. So I think it just kind of came from that, and then I just been faithful ever since. And you know, it's hard being a faithful fan of a team like my team because we are horrible, but you know, I don't switch up. You know, I stay with them, and I'm gonna ride it out to the end.
That's why I said, oh, yeah, you're a fan. You're definitely a fan there.
Yeah, definitely.
When you can hang on with your team through the rough moments, you definitely are a fan. But, yeah, so you're into art and, as I said, the playing the guitar and all of those things. How do you, with being, you know, having all of those talents, how do you zero in to focus on, like, what needs to be focused on versus I'm just going to do this and do this and do this and do this and do this, you know, becoming like a jack of all trades but a master of none?
Exactly, yeah, and that's something that I used to struggle with, but I think now, and yeah, so don't get me wrong, like I enjoy, you know, I'll play some 2K or, you know, Call of Duty, you know, or I might open up Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and try to learn some stuff as far as graphic design and, you know, and I'm always producing brand content, like I'm always producing content, so that's the constant thing. But I think those are just like, you know, just interesting hobbies that I have. But again, I have tunnel vision, so I know what my vision is. So nothing will be strong enough to pull me away from that. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do other things, but you want to be a master of your craft. You want to be an expert in your field. So as you become that, people will know that they can rely on you, they can trust you. They know if no one else can do it, he can. So that's where I'm trying to get my mindset now in terms of really just dialing in on speaking and developing myself there, watching my own videos and studying myself and seeing where I went wrong and what I said. And, so I do that. And I think it's paid off so many dividends for me. And I think that I'm not the best speaker. I definitely can say that, but I'm not what I used to be. And I think I'm doing pretty good for myself at my age. I mean, I'm very, very blessed to have a lot of the things that I have and a lot of opportunities that I have, just being a black male in this country and then coming from where I came from. I mean, there's no way you would have told me that I'll be doing what I'm doing today. So I think you just need to just dial in on your dreams and your goals and shift all of your energy and your focus there. And once you do that, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's another game changer for you right there.
And I like how you talked about that too, playing 2K and all of those other things, because included in being successful, you need those releases. And I think that sometimes we can get so caught up in, boom, I got to do this and I got to do that we don't take time to relax a little bit and allow things to reset. So that is great that you brought that up as well for those that are hearing to understand. It's still cool to play some 2K. It's still cool to enjoy yourself as well, but continue to build, what you're building. So, yeah, I feel you on that one. Now, you started talking about branding. You were talking about branding. How important is it to learn how to brand yourself? And how did you learn how to brand yourself? Because you hear a lot of people talk about branding, and it seems like, that's like the most popular thing that everybody talks about now. What exactly is branding to you, and how did you brand yourself?
Yeah, so, I think to start off with that, we're all essentially brands. Like, your name is a brand.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be like Nike.com or Jordan. Like, your name already is a brand, right? You just have to look at it that way. So for me, I try to present myself in a way where it's like, okay, this guy is, he's not playing around. Like, I should take him seriously. You know what I mean? Like, we can't expect everyone to perceive us that way. But I try to present myself in a way where it's like, man, okay, I can't play around with this guy because he's on some other stuff. Like, he's focused. So, I think with branding, it's very important because it allows people to learn more about you. You can open up about certain things or not. But, like, if you have a clothing brand or whatever you do, right, that's still you sharing something with the world. And they're able to learn more about you through whatever you do as far as your brand or your company. So I think for me, it's extremely important. And I know for me, I know I call myself Mr. Positive Vibes and everything, but I literally, I remember the first day I wrote about that on my Facebook account. And it was just, I wrote a post about just my life and where I wanted to go. And at the end of it, I was just like, hashtag or pound Mr. Positive. Like, I just hashtag positive vibes. I didn't know that it would stick and that it would basically just morph itself into what it is now. I literally had no idea. So I think that was just a gift in itself that God has given me, and a gift that he just tailor-made for me, because I didn't know that it would turn into what it turned into now. I think it was just something that he gave, and he gave it to me to share with the world, and he gave it to me to not keep to myself. So, and it would be selfish for me to do that. So I think it's very important to brand yourself, to take yourself seriously. Now, like you said, that doesn't mean that you can't have the 2K and the Call of Duties, and you can't have your Chipotle and your Netflix, whatever you have, right? But you want to keep the prize, and the goal, the goal. Like, the goal, your vision shouldn't, nothing should be strong enough to pull you away from your vision, no matter what you get yourself into. So you should always keep your focus on that, but also have fun with it along the way.
Awesome. Now, as a speaker, what are some of the topics that you have spoken on, or desire to speak on? All of those things. What are some topics that you speak on?
Yeah, so a lot of topics I really like to speak on is, when we just talked about branding, branding yourself, on social media, using the LinkedIn platform and how to best position yourself on that platform, discovering your why, your purpose for life, STEM and succeeding in STEM, succeeding in engineering, how to, train your mind to withdraw positive from negative situations, how to gain a new perspective and outlook on life, how to develop some clarity on your purpose. All of the things that we basically shared tonight on this call are a lot of things I like to speak on. So, a lot of things you shared, a lot of terms you shared are definitely things I like to speak on.
Okay, cool. Now, if somebody's out here listening and they will want, to book you, what is your ideal target audience?
My ideal target audience would be, I would say right now, definitely students from ages, 13 to 18. But again, I've worked with little kids as well. But I really like working with students for some reason. Like I like being in the schools because I know a lot of students struggle with different things, and I also was one of those students. And I want students to know that like you can be what you want to be. And I know it sounds cliche and it sounds like we heard that when we were 5 years old, but it's true. And I think people lose sight of that. And so I like working with middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even college students. I love working with students and working with schools. And so I just want students just to know that like you can get through anything and you can get to your dreams and never stop dreaming. It's never too old to dream. I don't care if you're 60 years old. I mean, there are people who go back to school at 70 years old and get their degree. So, it's never too old. I mean, it's never too late to stop dreaming, and it's never too late to start over and get that new fresh start for yourself. So.
Cool. Okay. So now we've talked about all of that. You covered a lot of things, within this interview. You've given us a lot. Before we get to that, you were talking about mental health is very important to me. I'm one who has struggled with depression in the past. Went to therapy. I still go to therapy for tune-ups every now and then as well. You were talking about your personal experience with depression. If there's somebody that's out there listening today and they're going through depression, maybe they lost their job, their home, a family member, whatever the situation is, what would you say to them as far as, getting through the process of depression?
Now, so for me, what happened was I had to shift my mindset to understand that I was no longer a victim and that I was created and built for something greater. I didn't know what that was, but I had to tell myself that I was worth more than what my current circumstances were. And so that's what worked for me. Now, I'll never just come out here and just say, okay, do this one thing and that's the golden ticket.
Right.
No, I won't do that to people. But I will say, at least for me, once I decided to shift my mindset and gain some clarity on why I was created and what I think my purpose is and why I should want to change myself for the better and why I want to become something one day and what do I want to become and why and who am I doing it for and what are my reasons. Once I got all that in my head, that allowed me to pull away from a lot of that depressing, trauma stuff. And so, and don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that my traumas and whatever that I've been through are still just completely eradicated. I still battle them now, and I still am battling them now. And so I'm not afraid to admit that, and I'm still developing and working every day. So but the goal is to keep working and to keep improving. Like you don't stop, you keep going, you keep working, you keep pressing. You don't just sit and just settle for what it is. And once you keep working and you keep progressing, you keep going on, I mean, things will open up for you, doors will open up for you, and you just have to know that, your life is not over. You're built for something. You're here for something, and if you keep pressing, you keep going, hopefully you should find out what that is.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. Now, You hit us with a lot in this interview. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. If everyone forgot everything that you said tonight, what is one thing that you would want them to take away?
Wow. One thing? Okay, I would say this. Never give up on yourself and your dreams. That simple.
Yeah.
I know that's probably, it's like, okay, why that? But again, I say this because so many people do that, and so many people stop dreaming. So many people stop fighting for their dreams and their goals. So many people endure hardships and they give up. So many people, they just like, oh man, okay, this is tough. Like, I don't know, or man, like I didn't see this coming. Like, I guess, I just gotta like you have to keep fighting. I mean, you have to keep fighting. So if I would say any last words or just a lasting statement for people to remember if they forgot everything else, I would say keep fighting, keep pressing, keep going towards, keep your vision, keep your hopes and your dreams alive, and never, ever, ever give up on yourself and your goals and your dreams. Believe in yourself, believe in your talents, believe in your abilities and your gifts, and keep working and keep evolving.
Awesome. All right, the next question is, on the show, we like to acknowledge what we call transforming transformers, okay? Transforming transformers are those leaders, those mentors, those that have been there in the background that has pushed you, encouraged you, told you can do this, we got your back. We like to acknowledge them on the show, so I like to leave room for each guest to acknowledge 2 to 3 individuals that have served as those transforming transformers in their lives.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Transforming transformers. Like you just want the names?
Yeah, if you can tell, either their name and what was something they did, that helped you through your process.
Oh yeah. So, man, wow. Okay, give me a moment here because I have like. I have so many different people that I think I could pull from. I mean, one person, yeah, it's kind of hard, but I would say one person would be, his name is Takahiro Kibiishi, and he was a person that allowed me to get my internship in California at Boeing, and I won't share this on the call tonight, but it was something that he did when I was coming in for the internship that summer that has never left me. I think about it literally all the time to this day. And so he would be someone that I would definitely, always remember and always just think about and be encouraged by. Another, man, I just have so many of these. Okay, that's one. Another person I would definitely say that has been like a huge encouragement and support. I mean, man, this is hard. I'm not saying I don't like this question, but it's taken me a lot of time to answer because I just have so many different people. I have so many different people. It's so hard. It's tough. Can I get a landline or can I? Like, I don't.
Yeah, if you just want to say, you just want to thank everybody that has been there for you. That's fine. I get it.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. It's so hard because I have so many different people and I have like billions of experiences, man. But those people know who they are. Definitely, I definitely show that, and I try to show my thanks and my gratitude to those people when we do talk and when we do communicate and see each other. So. I mean, really, just thank you, to anyone who's ever tried to support me. They have in any way, big or small. It's all meant the world to me, regardless of what it was. I owe a lot of that to those people, man, because I don't think I'll be really where I'm at today if those people didn't choose to support me or they didn't choose to listen to me or share my stuff on social media or my content and getting my name out there. I mean, there's the thank you list would be endless, is what I'm trying to say. But those people know who they are, man, and I appreciate everybody who's ever pulled me to the side, got in my ear, has given me criticism, has shown me like, hey, go this way instead of this way, or you're doing this wrong, you need to do this, you need to fix this, looking at my blind spots. I mean, I can go on and on, but just generally, man, just thank you to everybody who's ever helped me and supported me. I wouldn't really be here without that support.
Now, I want to talk about that just for a couple minutes as well. You probably, I think you're the first person that didn't try to narrow it in, and I like that you didn't try to narrow it in because it shows the gratitude that you have for the simplest things that people have done to help push and support you. Now, how important is it to surround yourself by people or with people like that? Like with those, as you said, you're Mr. Positive Vibes, but how important is it for you to be around people that have positive vibes when you have a vision, you have purpose, you have all of those things?
It's extremely valuable and important because if you don't, I mean, I don't really think you're going to get to where you want to get to if you have the wrong people around you, because eventually they're going to pull you off track. They're going to pull you into some mess that you shouldn't be in, and that's going to deter you off of your path and your dreams. So you have to put yourself around people who are positive, trying to be positive, who want more, who want to do more, who are fighting for their goals and their dreams, and who not only wants to win for themselves, but they want to do things to help you win and see you win as well. So if you do those things, I mean, you have a really good shot at achieving your goals and dreams, but again, you still have to go home and put in that work as well.
That's it. So before I ask you the last question, I want to leave you room to give everybody your social media handles, how they can connect with you and all of those great things.
Okay, yeah, sure. So my social media, I'll start with Facebook. You could just find me at Tyrone Jacobs Jr. My Instagram is Mr. Positive Vibes. My LinkedIn account is Tyrone Jacobs, Jr. And, you know, my Gmail, my email, you can just do jacobs.tyrone@gmail.com. Oh, my Twitter is Just Say Positive. And my Snapchat, even though I'm not as active on there as I used to be, it's positive.vibes. So those are all of my social medias. If you need to reach me, contact me or find me, or, you know, whatever you want to do. So there you have it.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to ask this last question. I end every conversation with this same question, and I have a reason for it. I'll explain the reason afterwards. But, Tyrone, who is God to you?
Who is God to me? Wow. Really everything. Like, again, I know I shared this as we were talking a bit earlier, but like I told you that the whole epiphany that I had, or the wake up call, or the like, okay, like I need to get my mind right, I need to get my stuff together, that whole deal, and the whole positive vibes thing, I think all of that came from him. Because I again, I don't know like where else it would come from, or where else it would, you know, where else could it be? And so I think that all came from him. And I think, I mean, my time was my time. You know, I was 18, 19 years old at the time when that happened for me. So I'm not saying it would be the same for everybody else, but I guess he saw something in me at that time. He knew that I had something in me to share with the world. So, you know, again, I'm not perfect. I am not, you know, the greatest or the best out there, but I do try my best to work extremely hard at what I do. I do try my best to dedicate myself to my crafts and to my visions and to my goals and my dreams, and I pour a lot into it. I put a lot of time and energy and emotion and investment into it, and I try to do that to the people around me that I care about as well, and I try to help them as well with their goals and their dreams too. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think I really would be here without him.
And the reason why I always ask that question at the end is because I believe that God is so, I don't think there's a word that can explain God. I mean, we use amazing, we use great, we use all of those. But I believe that when we have conversations with individuals and they talk about their experience with God, and then we talk about our experience with God, it introduces us to a new dimension of who God is. So it helps us to expand our consciousness of who God is as well. So I always like to end the conversation with that question, because nobody answers it the same, because nobody has had the exact same experience with God. So that's why I like to ask that question. I want to thank you for joining us on tonight. I appreciate your willingness to share with our listening audience. Connect with Tyrone. Connect with him. And I really want you to connect and go listen to the video I was talking about in the beginning from the Black Speaker Network Speaker Spotlight. I want you to go listen to the principles that he outlines in that video, all right? So again, guys, thank you for being here on tonight. Thank you for your faithfulness and your listening on every night. We're back here next Friday at 10 p.m. to find out who's going to be on the show, and also to find out anything else I have going on. Visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. Again, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. You can follow me on all social media platforms by typing in Clifton Pettyjohn. As I always say, create a great day, walk with purpose, and by all means, execute your vision. Peace. Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that, yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the Transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right, a free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, head over there, purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.